everyone, my name is Gilbert, and I'm the pastor of Faith Word Baptist Church in Tempe. And I don't have time to tell the whole story, but I just want to relate to you quickly what happened to me on April 14th, right before the last Tea Party. While you were here at the Tea Party, I was sitting in jail because I stood up for my rights as an American. Now, let me tell you what happened. I was on my way back from a business trip in San Diego. And I was coming down the Interstate 8, I was 75 miles out of Yuma, and I was 50 miles from the border between the United States and Mexico. I was stopped at a random Border Patrol checkpoint, asked a bunch of questions. They wanted to search my vehicle without a warrant. They wouldn't take no for an answer. And to make a long story short, the Arizona DPS was called out, busted my windows, tasered me for 20 seconds straight, and then a Border Patrol agent grabbed my head. I'd already been paralyzed by the taser. I wasn't fighting back. I wasn't resisting. In fact, I had my eyes closed with my face in my hands, and a Border Patrol agent grabbed my face and shoved it in broken glass, and as blood gushed down my face, I was stepped on, I was thrown on the ground, and eventually I had to get 11 stitches in my head and spend the night in jail. Let me tell you why. Because I told them that the Fourth Amendment protects me from warrantless searches. Yeah! You say, well, why didn't you just comply? You know? If you have nothing to hide. And by the way, I didn't have anything to hide. I'm a Baptist preacher. I wasn't smuggling drugs. They said some dog had alerted them that drugs were in my vehicle. Let me tell you something. We are losing our freedoms in America. You better wake up. Yesterday it was Pastor Anderson. Tomorrow it could be you or someone that you love. Now go ahead. Go ahead. Show your papers. Show your papers to the Soviets at the checkpoint. Go ahead. Answer all the questions to every police officer that wants to know what you had for breakfast this morning. But you know what? I'm going to stand up for the rights for which our forefathers died as enumerated by the Fourth and Fifth Amendment. Those rights didn't come from the U.S. government. They came from God. Now you say, wait a minute, what's the big deal? What's so important about the Fourth and Fifth Amendment? Well, if you do a little study into the founding of our country, you know what a key role warrantless searches played in people being agitated against the British government and the British tyranny at that time. But what you really need to understand is that if the Fourth Amendment is no longer sacred, if the Fifth Amendment is no longer sacred, then why would the First Amendment be sacred? If they can attack your right to be secure in your person and property and beat the living fire out of you when you tell them no, then what's to stop them from attacking your freedom of religion, your freedom of speech, your freedom of assembly? You know, maybe one of the amendments stands out as being more important to you than others, but they're all important. Your right to bear arms is important. The right to have security in your person and property. Why is Homeland Security attacking my personal security? But we have a government that has institutionalized torture in spite of the Eighth Amendment's clear stance. Cruel and unusual punishments shall not be inflicted. You say, wait a minute, that's only for American citizens. No, what part of endowed by their Creator? All men are created equal and endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights. You don't have to be an American to be endowed by your Creator with a right to freedom. You say, oh, but we got to protect the border. You know what the real problem with illegal immigration is? All the handouts, all the freebies that are attracting them to come and invade our country. That's the real problem. Let me tell you something. I'm here to tell you the truth today. The Republican Party does not represent you anymore. Face it. Look, hey, I'm as upset about it as you are. The truth hurts, but it's the truth. You know, President Obama is the worst president in the history of the United States. President Obama is spending our children's future. He's selling us into slavery and serfdom. But don't forget that before Obama's stimulus was George W. Bush's banker bailout that both McCain and Obama supported. I want you to think that you have a choice in this country between Republican and Democrat, between right and left. But when the government's boot is stamping upon your face, I can speak from experience. It doesn't matter whether it's the left boot or the right boot. Big government is the enemy.
Yeah! Shut him down!
You know what? Go ahead. Just keep voting Republican. Keep voting for these same phonies that raise your taxes. Hey, I can't tell the difference between Governor Jan and Governor Janet. I mean, Jan wants to raise taxes. Janet wants to raise taxes. Governor Jan doesn't want them to cut spending. And the real problem is that the Republicans today, let me give you an illusion from the Bible, are the spiritual Pharisees of politics. You see, Jesus Christ, when he was on this earth, said, "Beware of the leaven of the Pharisees, which is hypocrisy, for they say and do not." The Republicans say they're for small government. They say that they don't want to spend our money. They say that they want to cut taxes. But when it comes to what they actually do, it's the same thing as the Democrats. We ought not support any big government Republican candidates in 2009. They all need to go. And let me tell you something. If you really want to choose between two parties, let me give you two parties to choose from. The Constitution Party and the Libertarian Party. Those are the two parties that drive me too. I mean, hey, if you want somebody that represents you in Washington, the only two parties that stand up for any kind of liberty and freedom are the Constitution Party and the Libertarian Party. And hey, if you lean to the right, vote Constitution Party. If you lean to the left, vote Libertarian. But we should all be able to agree on freedom. What is it going to take before we wake up and realize that our future is gone, our government has become totally destructive to the ends of freedom, liberty, prosperity? It's time for them to be gone. We need to stand up to them. I shed my blood in the fight for freedom. Somebody needs to stand up and do something about this. Thank you.